Yesterday, I got a pretty interesting, I don't know if I'd call it a question or a challenge from one of my viewers. They sent me an email saying that they are a poor, broke college student and that they are going to have about $200, maybe a little more, maybe up to like $220 to spend on a firearm. They got their first apartment. They want to have something in their apartment they could use for self-defense and possibly something they could carry. Now, they put a lot of conditions on me here for what guns I would choose in that category. First off, they said, don't tell me to save more money, because if I try to save more money, I'll just end up spending the money I already have. This was money I had left over from a grant, and I'm going to have to spend it now, or I'll blow it on something else. So, can't tell them to spend more money, can't tell them to save up. They also said, don't tell me to buy ammo and practice, because I don't have a lot of time to practice. And they said, plus I'm pretty experienced with firearms already, and I have access to my dad's ammo, so I don't really have to buy any ammo, so I can spend the entire amount on a gun. Well, that's kind of challenging in itself right there, finding a decent gun for that $200 price range. But then they made it even more difficult. They said, it's got to be a gun that you personally have experience with and that you would actually own yourself if you had to, if you were in my situation. And believe me, I have been in their situation. I have been a very poor college student. And at that time, I actually did carry a Taurus. I had a Taurus, I believe it was I forget the number of the Taurus. It was like a 741 or something like that, but it was a 22 Magnum revolver. So I thought, well, what would I suggest that they get? So I thought today I would make a list here of the best 5 guns I think you could choose for that $200 price range. Now, believe me, this took some thought, but let's go ahead and get into it here. And let's start off with what I would consider the number 5 on the list. And number 5 on the list, now this is going to probably bother some people, but it is the Hi-Point CF380. Now, I know a lot of people just threw up in their mouth a little bit because I said a Hi-Point, but you know what? I've owned one of these for quite a while, or at least my family has. It sits in an old tackle box out in the barn on the farm, and, you know, it shoots every time I go back. I pull it out of the old box and I blow the spider eggs and cobwebs off of it, and it works. And that's all you can ask for in a gun in this price range, is that it works. It's not pretty. It's not the best designed gun in the world. It's a little big for a 380, but it's carryable and it would definitely work for self-defense around the house. So I'm going to have to say, based on my own personal experiences, if you're going to spend less than $200 or $200, you know, it's going to be a great choice because it's only like $125. You can buy one, throw it away, and buy another one if you need to later. So that's why I'm going to give the number 5 position to the Hi-Point CF380. It just works. Next is a gun that I don't have a whole lot of experience with, but what experience with it I have had has been positive. A friend of mine owns one. He loves it. I hear good things about it on the internet all the time, and it is the Sky CPX2. It is a very small little 9mm pistol. In my experience with the Sky, I have determined it's probably what Kel-Tec would be if they put a little bit more effort into their guns. Still not a gun that I would really want, but it's serviceable. It actually seems to work. It's very inexpensive. You can get these for $189, $199 all the time. Finding it for $200 wouldn't even be difficult. And like I say, it works. And it's a lot better looking than the Hi-Point was. So if you want a gun that looks fairly decent, is in a higher caliber, because this is 9mm, and, you know, doesn't break the bank. It's not going to be a gun you keep forever. It's just going to be a gun that you maintain for now and make sure it works for now. I think you couldn't go wrong with the Sky CPX2. Now, the next gun I've actually shot a little bit more. And it was a gun that I was very interested in when it first came out, but, you know, it's just not a gun that I really want to own, but I was interested in trying it, so I did. And that is the Taurus 709 Slim. This is like the Taurus version of the Walther PPS. It's a very slim, no frills, 9mm pistol. It's a single stack, so it's very easy to carry, and you can still use it for home protection too. Now, it does have a safety on it, which I'm not crazy about, but you know, when you're only spending $200, beggars can't be choosers. I'm not the biggest fan of Taurus guns, but if you get one of these, make sure it works and then just maintain it properly. It'll last you long enough to get the job done while you're in school. So this position goes to the Taurus 709 Slim. Now, the next gun's probably the most proven gun on the list, and the gun that most people would choose in this price category. That is the Ruger LCP, the original model. These are selling for $195 pretty much everywhere now because the new LCPs are out. This would be a great choice for a small little gun. It's a pocket pistol, so it's going to be very easy to carry, and it would still be better than a pointy stick if you ever had to use it for home defense. So it'd be a great little choice. Now, it is only a .380, but still, it's a very reliable and proven little .380. So I think it deserves a position right here as the number 2 gun in that $200 price range that I would choose. And that is, like I said, the Ruger LCP original model. Okay, the number 1 gun on the list, the gun that I would probably choose for myself if I was currently in this position and only had $200 to spend, that would be the Taurus PT-111 Gen 2. This is a compact, double-stacked 9mm pistol, holds 13 rounds. It's a pretty decent little pistol. Like I said, Tauruses aren't going to win any awards for quality or quality control especially, but if you get one and you make sure it works right out of the box, it'll last you for a while if you maintain it properly. It's not going to be what I would call an everyday shooter, not something I want to shoot every day at the range, like I said, but it is something that would serve you well in this capacity. Something you're not going to shoot a lot, something you're going to carry every now and then, but something that's going to be at home when you need it. So as long as you take it out, test it every now and then, maintain it every now and then, clean it, keep it in working order, this gun will get you through your college years. Now this one also has a safety, which wouldn't be my first choice, but like I say, beggars can't be choosers. So if I was in this position, if I was a poor college student and only had $200 to spend, this is the gun I would buy myself, the Taurus PT-111 Gen 2. Okay, I do want to add one little caveat to this video, one recommended gun, what I would do. I know I said that was the gun I would choose if I had to do this for myself, but what I would really do is try to be able to spend just a little bit more, spend $225, because you said you had a little bit more than $200. If you could spend $225, what I would get would be the Taurus 85, a little .38 special Taurus revolver. It's only going to be 5 shots, but it's a decent little gun. Now, Taurus revolvers have a tendency to eventually go out of time, but just in a couple of years as a college student when you need a gun for carry and for home defense, that's not going to be a real big issue. So as long as it works out of the box, it would be a great gun for you. I've owned Taurus pistols in the past and they've served me well. In fact, it was a Taurus pistol that saved my bacon that night in Birmingham, Alabama. So I can't really say anything too bad about them. So if I was you, I would spend just a little bit more money and get myself a Taurus 85 .38 special revolver. So there you have it. There's my list of the 5 potential guns that I would buy if I only had around $200 to spend. Now, none of these guns are fancy. None of them are what I would call beautiful. They're not even the very most reliable guns on the market. But I think if you used them in that context, just to shoot every now and then and to carry, if you maintained them properly, they would last you for a long time. They would perform very well. I wouldn't want to use any one of these as a competition gun or as an everyday shooter because I think they might wear out too quickly. But like I said, just for something to keep around the apartment or to carry occasionally, I think any one of these would serve you pretty well.